Alright, welcome to part 2 of the underrated musky lures. In part 1, the first video I did, I talked about the giant or XL Squirco, some colors that I like, why it's kind of an underrated bait, and then also some important triggers for it. So in this video, in part 2, we're going to be talking about the Triple D from ESOX Research Company. So I know a lot of people do throw this bait, but there's still the vast majority of musky fishermen that I'm seeing aren't throwing it. When they do throw cranks, it's kind of like the Booker Depth Raider, stuff like that. Or again, the bulldogs, the Medusas, the swim baits, which catch plenty of fish. But there is definitely a time and place for this, even compared to other crankbaits like the Depth Raider. The biggest thing that makes this bait special, well, one, it suspends, which is really nice, especially when fish aren't going too hot and heavy. You can leave that bait down in the strike zone and trigger some fish that way. I've actually caught a handful of fish when I'm working it, leave it sit there, and I'll go grab a drink of water, grab a drink of my pop, something like that, and then you'll feel like a little walleye tick almost when you're leaving it sit there. That's what the hits are like. Another thing that's really interesting about it is the shape of the lip. It's not your typical, square bill or like a Depth Raider with like a triangle. It's a nice rounded bill. This usually gets you a lot of side-to-side action as well, along with the thumping action. And when you get that nice side-to-side action, that can definitely trigger strikes. Instead of just moving in a straight line, all of a sudden you'll get a kick out to the left or a kick out to the right. That can trigger following fish. The one really good thing about this, though, is you can fish it different ways. You can obviously fish it like a crankbait with harder pulls, or jerks or rips, whatever you want to call it, and it's going to go crazy. It's going to thump hard. It's going to bounce left and right. But you can also fish this as basically a deep diving glider. It takes a little bit to get used to, but you can basically, with that round lip and the twitching side to side, you can get it where it just works like a glider, left and right, left and right, left and right. Also then it suspends, so you can go left, right, let it sit there, and wait for that hit to happen. So how you're going to want to do it when you want to get that glider action is you actually work it like a glider. More soft taps to it. It's a little tricky to try to describe. You can actually do kind of like longer, easier pulls, and you'll feel it goes off to one side. You'll kind of feel the leader rub, and it'll swing off to the other side. Rub, swing off to the other side. And it just takes a little bit to get used to. So I would suggest going to like kind of a deep, really clear lake and just taking some time and working with it, just practicing with it. But again, suspending is a huge thing. Nice twitches off to the side that can be real erratic, or you can work it as a deep down glider. Colors, kind of the same thing as the XL Squirco. Love the walleyes in kind of a sucker, some sort of pattern in darker waters. This color of theirs I've actually had a lot of success in clearer waters. It's a nice good one. But also just any of your regular shads or Cisco colors in clear water as well. If I had to choose one color, it'd probably be their stock walleye color. Just caught a lot of fish on it. Always been good. One last thing you can do, one last trigger, kind of like the XL Squirco, is going to be kind of a rip up or a twitch up at the boat. So this bait's going to be coming in 10 feet or so, working it glider style, left and right, or twitching it, pulling it, whatever you want. Then when you get, again, 20 feet from the boat, I like to do kind of hard rips up or hard twitches up. This bait's going to go from 10 feet. All of a sudden it's going to come up to 3 or 4, and then I let it sit there. And I've let it sit there, for 10, 20 seconds sometimes, and all of a sudden a fish will show up and eat it. So again, underrated musky bait number 2 is the Triple D.